Hello, my name is Tshego Siago. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you my interpretation of the off-duty model makeup look. So if you want to see how I achieve this look, continue watching. As you saw from the time lapse, I did my full skincare routine, my morning skincare routine. It's very important for this makeup look to prep your skin and get it ready because you want it to look naturally dewy and healthy because you're going to be using minimal products. We're not going to be using any foundation today. We're just going to be using these two concealers. I have featured this Maybelline one a couple of times on my page, but I'm also going to be using this one by Dior, There Forever skin corrector, and I am in the shade 4W. I will list all the products down below so that we are not stuck on this video forever because I'm explaining each product that I'm using. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to start off by brushing my hair back so that it's out of the way. And then I'm gonna go in with the concealer that is closest to my skin color, which is the Maybelline one. And you just want to make sure to cover just like where you have any kind of pigmentation, but making sure that you also leave enough skin out so that it looks natural. You don't want to cover your entire freckles and like blemishes because I feel like that's what makes this look natural. Oh, by the way, I also did my brows off camera. If you guys want to see how I do my brows, I have shot a routine, which I will tag somewhere here. But yeah. Alrighty, so I think that's all the concealer I need for now. If I need to add more, I will. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me some questions. I have them here, and I will be answering those while we let the concealer get a little tacky. I can't believe I'm going to be on camera like this, but anyway, let me start off with the first question. I think I'll start with the first one I got, which was, how does a 28-year-old female get into modeling? I think the great thing about the industry right now is that, you know, it's very diversified and you don't just have to be a young 18-year-old, 16-year-old to start your career in modeling. I think the industry's become very diverse and it's very open to all ages, all skin types, sizes, and so I think just start. Look for an agency, send through your pictures, find out first what their requirements are. I would say look up a couple of agencies in your city or town and then take it from there. Usually most agencies will ask you for your measurements and a few natural photos. And my tip is, when you are taking those photos, make sure to have very minimal makeup. You could actually have this makeup look on and that would be perfect for your photos. And yeah, just look your natural gorgeous self. Wear jeans and a white t-shirt, I would suggest. Okay, so now that that's gotten a bit tacky, I'm going to start blending it in. And you'll notice that as I blend in, I am moving it to like the rest of my face so that we just don't have that harsh concealer line and then it's not blended. So you want to diffuse it into the rest of your face. This is going to be so hard. I don't know if I'm any good at doing my makeup and answering questions and trying to explain what I'm doing. But anyway, let's try. Okay, second question. How do you maintain your flat tummy with all the work? Honey, I do not have a flat stomach. I mean, I work hard at trying to get one, but I try and stay away from super salty food or food that's high in carbs, just because that gets me really bloated. And I exercise. Honestly, you guys have, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen that I do work out, but I'm also human. I go through phases where I don't want to work out. Like this quarantine, I've barely exercised, but I've also tried to maintain my weight and balance that out by watching what I eat and just being conscious of what I'm putting into my body. As you can see, this is so like nicely blended in. I'm still going to carry on and continue blending in. Let's go to the next question. When did I start becoming a model and what sacrifices did I make in order to pursue my modeling career? So I started modeling when I was, I think, 19, 20. A friend actually asked me to help them out with a shoot they were doing to enter a competition. And so I never thought I could ever be a model. So I was like, okay, cool, sure, I'll do it. And then the girl who was doing the makeup on that shoot was like, hey, you should probably consider doing this. And I was a student at the time and I wanted to help my parents with paying some of my fees and my bills. So I looked for an agency, submitted the shoot, the photos from the shoot that I did with those friends, and yeah, that's how I got signed. Anyway, let me speed you through this part of my blending, otherwise we're gonna be here forever. Alrighty, so now that first concealer is blended in, now we're going to use our highlighting shade. And I try not to use too much of this because this is quite bright. And the whole point of this makeup look is to kind of have your makeup to look like skin and not like you have a whole face of makeup on. So it's okay if some of your pigmentation or blemishes or freckles are showing. All right, so should we answer the next question, the next burning question? So somebody asked, I want to do runway and photo shoot modeling. Can you please send a shout out to me? I love you so much. Hi, Melody Bite, at Melody Bite. Love you too. So I would say, again, yeah, runway modeling is a little more competitive than commercial modeling. So you have to be taller than 1.71 meters tall, I think. So measure yourself first, because if you're shorter than that, it would be very hard for you to start runway modeling unless you have a very unique look. So yeah, first make sure that you're tall enough, and then second of all, if you feel like you're not 171 and you're shorter, but you feel like you have a very unique look, then go for it. Honestly, I just feel like sometimes rules are meant to be broken and you just should try your luck, and you never know. It could be your moment and what an agency is looking for in the new it girl look, runway model look. So yeah. So I'm gonna blend off this brighter concealer, trying to concentrate it right under my eye, but obviously we want to blend it out so that you don't look crazy. Also, I have a very neutral undertone, so sometimes I do try and use complexion products with a warmer undertone just to try and give me, I don't know, a bit of a golden, sun-kissed olive undertone to my skin. So usually when I do a full face of makeup, I would go ahead and set my makeup at this point, but with this look I only set everything at the end because we try to use as little setting powder as possible. So now that I have my concealers on and I've tried to kind of make my face look one complexion and not as pigmented and showing so much of my sunspots, I am going to go in with my contour powder, and you guys have probably seen this one. I don't know if I've shared it. This is my Essence one and I really like this one a lot. So I start now and I'm going with that. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit of my Hoola Toasted bronzer, which is quite warm and dark for my face usually, but I like to add a little bit of it because we're not wearing any foundation. Products don't show up as easily as they would if, especially powders, as they would if you had foundation on. And don't worry if your bronzer is starting to look a little dark. It's weird, it looks a lot darker on camera than it does in my mirror, but that's fine. We will fix that very easily. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in and contour my nose. I always contour my nose. I'm thinking I should actually do a video on how I contour my nose because I think I've perfected that. All right, let me answer the next question. Is it a lucrative career or is it a financial struggle in that industry? What has your experience been? So modeling used to be very lucrative. I don't think it's as lucrative as it used to be. So when I started out back in like 2009, 2010, I remember booking a job that paid me crazy amounts of money. Like I think it booked me enough money to be able to move out of home and pay my rent for a whole year. So you can imagine, that is a lot of money. Nowadays, I don't hear about those kind of offers too often, or those kind of paychecks too often. And I think part of the reason is because of social media and influencing and, you know, all those platforms. It's just kind of made it easier for brands to diversify their advertising, and so it's made it more competitive, obviously. But I think it's not necessarily a negative thing. It just opens up more industries, and I just think if you want to be a model, you can't just be a model in the traditional sense anymore. Now you have to do other things, have a Instagram and have a YouTube and build a following, and in that way that kind of makes you more valuable to a brand and they'd want to work with you more often. So modeling in the traditional sense, I don't think is as lucrative as it used to be, but now I would say you are open to a lot more opportunities if you have a platform like Instagram and Twitter and YouTube. So if you're thinking of becoming a model, definitely look into, you know, merging all of those things and kind of making yourself very valuable and build a following and yeah, just have influence. Okay, so I think I want to go in a little more with my contour powder. So you see, this is why I don't want to set my makeup, because as I go to my next step, I like diffusing all of this, because you want to push it into your skin so it looks as natural as possible and it isn't just sitting on the top of your skin. So I'm going to use my same contour shade just to bring out the color and the pigmentation on my eyes a little more, because that helps with the defining them. But you don't want to put too much, because you don't want it to look like eyeshadow. You just want it to look natural. Okay, and now I am going to go in with my blush. I still have so many questions to answer and I'm almost done doing my makeup. Okay, so while I do my blush, let me answer the next question. How do you approach an agency? So I mentioned it in the first question. Look up the agency that you want to approach, research or give them a call and find out what they are looking for as an agency. And then if you fit those specs, then contact them and send them through your stuff. Honestly, it's that easy. Okay, so now that we have most of our powder products on, I'm gonna go in with my Fix Plus. And this step is important to making your makeup look natural and flawless. Just go over everything with your beauty blender. You don't have to be precise. It's just to push everything into your skin and have it looking very natural. So I want to put on a little more concealer under my eyes, but not too much. Like you can see, I barely put anything on. Okay, and then once I've done that, I'm going to go in and set everything. Well, not everything, my under eyes. And usually I use a beauty blender to set my under eyes, but for this makeup look, I use a brush because I want to get the smallest amount of product. You don't want to use too much powder for this look. And try to spread out your powder so that your eyes aren't just like matte and the rest of your face dewy. But we are gonna go back in with our Fix Plus and a dewy mystifying. Which apps do I use to edit my photos? I try not to over edit my photos. So the apps that I use are VSCO. I have a folder actually on my phone with all of the apps that I use. So I'd say the ones that I use a lot are VSCO and just some of the filters on my iPhone. And then whenever I want to add effects or play around with like colors and textures, then I will also use Afterlife. So those are the only apps I use. Oh, I actually forgot to do one step. So I take my blush and you don't even need to. I use the same brush I used for my blush and I just rub it over my lids. Okay. And then that's pretty much it for my complexion. I'm gonna go back with my fixing spray and then I'm gonna go in with this one because it's a setting spray. It's a dewy setting spray. Lips are very important to making sure that this look also doesn't look very overdone. So you have to go in with a very light hand. So I'm gonna go in with my lip liner. And lightly line my lips. Oh, it's fine if you make a mistake. And then you just take your finger and blend that in, because you don't want it to be a harsh line. And then I do the same on the top. Not very precise, because you don't want this look to look too perfect. And this just helps with adding some dimension to your lips. And again, like I said, I have a very neutral undertone, so my lips look pale. They have like no color. Okay, and then I am going to use this lip pencil, which is very close to my lip color, I would say, or if I had color to my lips. I'm assuming this is what they'd look like. Okay, and then I'm gonna use some of my lip balm, because it has a little bit of, gives off a little pink tint to your lips. And then gloss is your friend for this look. You want glossy, youthful lips. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to my eye makeup. So actually you could leave this makeup look like this and not do any eyes and just kind of go about your business without any mascara or anything like that. But I wanna put on some mascara today. So I'm gonna start off by using my Dior primer, and this is their Maximizer 3D. I love this because it adds volume to my lashes. So I naturally have long lashes, but they're not, well, they're full, but they're not as full as I'd like them to be. They're full enough, but you know, this helps kind of add a bit of sass to them. So now that I have my primer on, I'm gonna go in with my mascara. I'm gonna be using my L'Oreal one. Okay, so before I finish off my makeup with highlighter, you could leave it like this, but I want to add some highlighter. But before I finish off, let me answer my last question. And Abel asked, if it's not intrusive, what is the least you've made on a modeling job, and how much was your biggest check? I'm not gonna disclose the amount, but maybe I'll disclose the brand. So the smallest, the least I've earned on a job is nothing. I have worked for free. When I was starting out, would I work for free now? Not really, I've got bills to pay. But I have worked for free before. And that's with brands that I already have a relationship with or have worked with before, and I know that if anything comes up that they may have a budget for, they would call me up. So yeah, I have. The biggest paycheck I got, I think, was when I was 22, and I was the face of Legit for their spring summer collection. And so I was pretty much not just modeling for that campaign, I was also their ambassador. And so it was a huge paycheck. I got to live off that money for a year. That's how big it was. Yeah, so those were the days. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with my highlighter, which is pretty much my final step. Second last, I might go in with a little bit more Fix Plus. What am I saying? I might go in with a bit more Fix Plus spray, because you can never have too much. So then for this step, I put the product on the back of the sponge, and I mix highlighters. This one is very like goldy, and then this one is a lot like closer to my skin tone, it's a little darker. And I mix those two together. It's not too heavy, and that's what I like about doing it this way, is that it doesn't just sit on top of your skin. You want to be very careful. Only do this there. And then pinch it so I can do the bridge of my nose. And use whatever leftover product to kind of distribute that on the high points of your face. And then last one I'm gonna do. Okay, and then let's go back to my lashes. Not that I need to, but you know, can't have too much mascara. I love this makeup look because it's just so youthful. It actually looks like more product on camera than it does actually in my mirror. But I love it. It's just so pretty, so youthful. Okay, so this is my take on the off-duty model makeup look. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see how I did my hair and curled it for this video. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll definitely be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Love and light always.